listening to Drop the Mic Media MKE's production of Thoughts. Well, good evening to everybody again. We are here. I feel like I got some shit to say tonight. I got some stuff I want to touch on. Yes, but I really want to get this joint kicked off real quick and go into the hot topics. Because I paid attention last week. I listened to everybody. Everybody spoke eloquently and seriously and talked about the things they wanted to touch on. We went through you again. Congratulations on the monument. You remember you were talking to us about your little monumental move into management?
Oh, well,
thank you.
We ain't there yet, but thank you.
Then I wanted to talk about your.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. You
can go ahead.
You gonna say the name of the hot topic?
The hot topic today is going to be tariffs.
She sounded nervous.
And it's gonna be tariffs for real.
It's gonna be tariffs.
All the way up.
Oh man.
And then Trey, we want to talk about your success.
Yeah.
So Icy from the drop.
Yeah, I got the project dropping on all platforms. My single So Icy. It's on Instagram. You can follow it on TikTok. On all platforms. Trey Money, TREY, MONEY, 414, all lowercase letters. Y'all make sure y'all following me, man. If y'all ain't heard of me, tap in.
All right.
Enamus?
I might be hitting New York Fashion Week coming up in September, so be on the lookout. Other than that, class consciousness,
Uh-oh. Okay.
I ain't gonna put you on the spot.
Don't put me on the spot.
Because it's week 1. But week 2,
I'll be ready for you.
You get your 5 minutes because we're going to get ours. So, rolling right along, good evening to everyone, and hopefully we'll get our friends to join us on our Google Meet. I guess you would call that side of the show.
Yeah.
Because when they come in with a force. Last week we had Kevin, we had Frank, and who else do we have? Johnny One Time. Johnny One Time. So when we take a break later on, I'm going to call Johnny One Time to see what he's doing. If he's on the road, we're going to let him be. But if he ain't on the road, we're going to talk about his ass. How you going to be in the podcast and don't show up?
All right.
It's like.
All right. That's what they call vlogs, right? He can still do that while he's driving. We just got to get a cameraman in the truck.
Exactly.
That's all. That's an investment coming for you, Johnny, one time.
Like I got in mind.
One of those dash cams that takes
got
video
one.
both ways.
I got one.
Yeah.
So I'd like to really and truly kick this off by going into what we were talking about, tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
I like history. And I learned a long time ago that history kind of repeats itself.
Yeah.
I ain't going to say it repeats itself, because sometimes it has a vicious circle and the repeat be fucked up. Everybody be looking like that ain't how it happened the last time. No, because we're getting hurricanes like they ain't never been before.
Mm-hmm.
They coming around the same time, but they coming larger and more destructive. So I did some research. The Republicans always talk about Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan this, Ronald Reagan that. He was a great president, Reaganomics, right? It wasn't that great. The guy that followed him wasn't that great either. But the guy that followed them took what they did and created a surplus out of it. Mm-hmm. So I got some footage that I gave to Matt. Ronald Reagan didn't believe in tariffs. And I'll let him tell you why. Go ahead, Matt.
You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is First, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity. Now, it hasn't always been easy. There are those in the Congress, just as there were back in the 30s, who want to go for the quick political advantage, who risk America's prosperity for the sake of a short-term appeal to some special interest group, who forget that more than 5 million American jobs are directly tied to the foreign export business, and additional millions are tied to imports. For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it caused is deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period, called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff, greatly deepened the Depression and prevented economic recovery.
That's it. I think that's a creepy statement, but it's serious. Serious in the sense that here's a man who believes in the same conservative government that the ones that are in office now believe in. But they all have different philosophies because of the special interest group, the 2025s. You remember the book that they said that he had, where the Republican conservatives were following this Bible called 2025, and they were talking about immigration, and they were talking about tariffs, and they were talking about trade, and they were talking about wars and economic development. And the first thing we were told is, it's not going to take that long. America's not going to be strung out with these tariffs. They also talked about, well, if we do this, it's not going to hurt anybody. Unemployment's going to go away quickly. Gas prices are going to fall dramatically. They talked about all of the things that Ronald Reagan just told us ain't true. And the reason that they did that narrative is because they were behind that special interest group, the group of billionaires that put this 2025 plan into effect. So I played that part to let you guys hear the master, as they call him, of the Republican Party tell you that that shit don't work. So we've got to watch, stand by and watch this gentleman. I don't want to call him out of his name because he's been throwing motherfuckers out the country. I don't speak Spanish, but I do habla, ass whoopings. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about it and see where you all stood. And y'all can beat me up if y'all think my thought is fucked up, but I don't think so. We can start over there. We can come over here. It doesn't matter. I just want to hear from everybody.
I just wanted to add that, like, not only is Ronald Reagan somebody that the Republicans all like look up to, and a lot of them want to be, he was like radically conservative at his time, like
right.
Especially on economic policy. Like he cut so much, like in the same way that Trump is cutting things. So hearing him say that it's crazy to hear him say that so strongly against tariffs when pretty much everything else he believes in is in line with what's going on now.
Right. So why do you think they came out with tariffs first? They could have come out and just did the immigration problem and worked on that, and then turned around and said, hey, while we at it, let's build a wall. Instead, he went to firing 10,000 people a week. They went to cutting millions out of departments of the government. Why do you think they did that? I mean, the special interest groups, we already know that.
I just think it was a revenge tour for him. That's it. It didn't matter. It don't matter if you black or white. For me, Trump don't like nobody.
Can I say something to you?
Nobody.
He like money.
That's it.
But guess what? I like money too.
Yeah,
But I ain't finna fuck America to get it.
He felt like they fucked him though in the first term. So
how? He did all that shit to himself.
Him. With all the impeachment.
He did it to himself.
Yeah, but anytime someone goes against him, he thinks that it's like a threat to him, even if it's just them disagreeing or.
Listen, man, the man went on. He's on a mad tour.
So why elect him? Why re-elect him?
Because he told them folks what they wanted to hear. And,
a lie?
And pretty much everybody believed him. I mean,
you know, so I'm in a relationship. I'm married. I'm perfectly happy, and I say, I don't give a fuck who it is. A lie don't sound good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't elect you for no lie.
But he didn't lie. He told these folk what he was gonna do, and they still elected him.
Mm-hmm.
And
they thought he was just playing. Oh, he just talking.
But
shit.
It was still a lie.
I think part of it is that they thought it wasn't going to affect him.
I also want to highlight.
They thought it wasn't going to affect them, so they were just like,
That's why we voted.
I just want the egg prices to be lower. It was a thing that I heard most. Lower egg prices, lower gas prices, all of this.
Right.
Huh?
And he said he would do that. So that is a lie.
Johnny one time?
Mm-hmm.
He did say that.
Fast Johnny.
So.
I want to highlight too, okay, we go over policies. Yes, the Republican plan was put in place, but for one, a lot of people didn't know what they meant and how it impacted. And then also the narrative of he was lying about it comes from the media that he pushed out. Because a lot of the times in the media, he would claim something completely opposite of what the actual Republican plan policies were targeted to. And that's what caught a lot of viewers or voters. That's why a lot of people having that second regret, because they didn't do their research at home. And I feel like that's where it need to start from. But media paint whatever picture you trying to search for, and people don't realize Googling certain newscasts, they have other agendas. So the way they narrate that is completely unknown. And if you don't do your research, you don't see both viewpoints. That was all.
I like that. Articulated that well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I just want to say, Matt, you got my other footage? Should I play it? Run it, baby.
Lots of mentions of the word deal there, Faisal. What's your sense of whether one may be close?
Hi, Jen. Yeah, we've had some significant developments really in the last hour or so that may help to explain the conciliatory tone that I picked up and communicated in that report, which is that our partners CBS News are reporting that the chief executives of Walmart and Target have privately warned President Trump of empty shelves in the coming weeks if he continues with his tariff policies, and that probably particularly concerns the prohibitive tariffs both ways on US-China trade. We're hearing from the ports on the west coast of America, Los Angeles in particular, of a potential collapse in China to US cargoes, down 33% this week, potentially 44% in the first week of May. This is a serious hit to the world economy, and something that will be seen visibly in the US on shelves, if you believe the CEOs of some of America's biggest companies, or at least the reporting of what they have said privately. This is highly significant stuff, may explain, as I say, some of the reaches for deals. We think there might be a meeting between Scott Bessent, who you saw in my report, the US Treasury Secretary, and his Chinese counterpart. That meeting, if it happens, assumes incredible importance in bringing the world down from this trade war. We don't know if it happens. We don't know if the Chinese want to pick up the phone and attend that. We don't know what the conditions will be, but incredibly important meetings happening here at the IMF in DC, and not just involving the UK.
Are y'all hearing this? The CEOs of Walmart, Kohl's, Costco,
Because
Sam's.
it's trickling down. It's gonna trickle down.
It ain't trickling down, it's falling.
It's coming.
These men are telling you that in the coming weeks,
It's over.
there ain't gonna be nothing on the shelves.
Better get the beans, bro.
Man, honestly, that's really just opening.
I mean,
up
you go in
door.
the store right now and you can see all that.
But that's gonna open up the door to purge. Y'all see that, man? That shit for real though. Like,
You know, he
once
said
all
that
that
he
shit
wanted
start
that.
happening,
He said that he wanted that.
that's what he's pushing towards. Like,
chaos.
I mean, when you see the
That's
movie
it.
The Last Purge and you pay attention to that shit, you see they have the president running.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Them
Yeah.
all subliminal messages that they put behind this shit. So it was just a matter of time before it happened here.
Yep.
America been taken from us for years. Uncle Sam been taxing us on every fucking dollar. So what make you think Trump gonna give a fuck about us? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Now Trump making sure that the
it's
corporations
this is
and the
United
big
States.
and the big 1%ers,
It's like a self-inflicted
making sure.
wound, man. It's like
I don't even
that's
know
what
if
it
he
is.
cares about the
United States,
1%ers. He
Donald
cares about
Trump,
himself
Elon
above all.
Musk.
he in the 1%.
Straight up.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what it is.
But he will mess with any of them in
He's
order
a
to get his own money.
vampire. He'll suck the blood
Yeah.
out of anything until it
But
dies.
it's even deeper than that, man. This shit boiled down to the spiritual warfare. You know what I'm saying? Like it get deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It-
and it's just here.
You
Like,
cause
But I'm gonna
chaos
tell you
within inside
something.
the person. They
Yeah.
can't
See,
see
y'all,
what's coming.
I agree with all of that. No. It is all about a society that's larger than any of the societies y'all understand about that are pulling the chains. They ain't pulling those strings. They pulling the chains on this man. One day he can sit and say 140% on China. And then the next day he can say, I'm thinking about just making it half. Because somebody called his ass up last night and said, yo, get this shit right or we're going to pull the rug out from under your ass.
Mhm.
Simple as that. And he running like a chicken with his head cut off because, you know, a chicken with his head cut off, he don't have no direction. He just going.
Motherfucker finna die soon.
Yes,
Shit, hey, it's just
He
here.
probably
man.
has dementia.
probably.
I heard he was shitting in his pants.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did hear that. Or
I
at least that
I
he was
s-
Real, like
I
no,
saw
no,
that.
no kidding, no
I
kidding.
saw
y'all.
him
Yeah.
at a golf tournament.
He really just
They don't
trying to
got him
push.
no presidential depends.
I saw him in a golf tournament in New
I just-
Jersey.
I just think
And
that
he
at
took
this
a
point
swing.
we
I
I
keep
saw him on a
them
ham
like them
sandwich.
old folks. We can't expect them not to have old folk.
Well, I'm going
issues.
to tell you what I saw today. Guys, check this out. I saw
Yeah.
this today. Of the old Republicans and the old Democrats,
Yeah.
77% of them say we need a new government
Speak on it.
That's what I said. No more.
with young folk.
That part.
Then they also said of the millennials, is that the generation
Yeah.
now?
I mean, that's like
Like the
my
One
age
of
to
them.
like.
Gen
No,
Z.
right.
So it's the millennials
It's the
and the
early.
Gen Zs
Yeah.
that they polled. 76% of them
Yeah.
said we need to get rid of the Republicans, period.
Because the majority of those guys in there on Capitol Hill is 60 plus.
No.
And we live in we going the old way. It's just the old way.
Can I
Come on
say
now, we
something to you? It ain't even that. Most of them guys in there, yeah, they 60 plus. But guess what? They've been hand-picked to be there.
Yeah.
That's why they've been there for 12, 20, 30 years. That's why a motherfucker can walk around there, can barely see, got one leg with a cane, and the other leg he rolling with a wheel underneath it. Because them old fuckers have gotten paid. Mitch McConnell came to the government $500,000. He is $50 million rich now for doing 20 years in the government.
Yeah.
You ain't lying. Them benefits be hidden. I used to work.
But see, that's where Elon. That's where Elon Musk come into play.
It's the special
And the
special
Doge.
interest groups that are paying them off.
That too.
They want to reform. They said reform. We want to redo it. So we bring in Elon. They don't like Elon. They don't like the way Elon doing business.
Elon
so now what's
he
next
had to
now?
go home because he lost 40% of his company over the weekend.
Yeah.
Right, because he don't know what he's doing. They drug him in like they dragging everybody else in that don't know what they
And
doing.
they're
Donald Trump know what he's doing.
Donald Trump don't know what he's doing.
Believe me when I tell you, man, you don't win presidency twice and you fucked up both times. You don't win it twice not knowing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker got a plan. It was
Yeah, he
written
want to take over.
years ago.
He want to be the king.
New
Exactly.
World Order. That's the plan that was written
You heard
years
what
ago.
Putin said when the election was over, didn't you? Putin said, "Welcome to the new world order." That's what Putin said.
That's what it's going to be.
Man,
Everybody
so
going to be under one government.
I did that on purpose. I only let y'all have one hot topic because I knew we was gonna be on that shit for a minute. We're gonna take us a small break and we'll be back in a few. Y'all hang tight. Well, we're back to the second part of thoughts. The first part was good. I enjoy talking about this man sometimes. Like today, I just don't understand. How can you believe that these tariffs are going to work when now it's only gotten to the point where it's China and the U.S. He's pretty much forgot about everybody else. And then he got on the news this morning and says, no, China got on the news and said, hey, they're playing warfare with the tariffs. And the news reporter said, what do you mean? He said, they are telling other countries they won't charge them any tariffs if they don't vote for anything that China does. So you're trying to blackball them like you're the mob boss. All right, next subject. You ready? Are y'all ready? How many people have lost their jobs?
Talk about it.
Before I say that, I'm going to say this. The Supreme Court passed a thing today that says they don't have to reinstate any of those people they fired.
Damn.
And they got fired for doing their job.
Literally.
And not quitting when they were told to quit. Because he told them, you got a week to resign or you're going to be fired.
I ain't gonna lie. They low-key did that because they wasn't trying to get them unemployment.
Ain't nobody getting none.
I mean, me personally, when you look at that, though, I feel like it's bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've been saying that the whole conversation.
It's war. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not just sit back and it's war. So me personally, hell yeah, I'm like, hey, motherfucker, you fired, you fired, you fired, you fired. All you motherfuckers fired. You know why? Go get ready. Go get ready. You know what I'm saying? Why what y'all still working for? Y'all know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what's gonna happen. So to make it look good, you know what I'm saying? Because who control the media? You know what I'm saying? Let's put it on the media. Everybody get fired. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, they're going to get ready for what's gonna happen.
But why weaken your military?
You know what I'm saying?
You firing all your top generals. You
They ain't firing them.
he fired
That's
those
just the
people,
look so
man.
they can go get ready. They know what's going on. They know what's going on.
That's like embarrassing to the U.S.
Yeah, that's how we
Fire
looking
federal
at it.
workers.
It's all
embarrassing. Period.
it's all a distraction. So that's how we looking at it. Like, why he firing all these people? Why he doing that? Now it's a talk. Now we talking about it, but in reality, it's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? They know what's going on. But they ain't finna come out and tell us. They ain't finna come out and tell us that.
I was
we
waiting.
at war.
I was
we
waiting.
you know why? Because now the people is panicking. They don't want the people to panic. But when that airplane and that helicopter crashed, guess what that was? a terrorist attack. That wasn't no coincidence. Why is a helicopter, a military helicopter, even flying at that ratio?
Because that's where they fly every day.
Yeah, okay.
They have to come from Andrews and what's the other
But even
place
then,
that they go to?
even then, they communicate.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? So when
Or the
Plane
president
A
goes
reached
pull
out and they didn't get no response, that should have been a red flag right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. It should have been.
Yeah.
It should have been.
Yeah, they know what's going on, man. But everything is really to distract us from what's really going on. And really, we at war. We've been at war with Russia and China. You know what I'm saying? They been quit the U.S. dollar
I can
years
tell you,
ago. So
I can tell you this. I don't mean to interrupt you, bro.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
But we are no longer at war with Russia. We are in bed with Russia.
Yeah.
The man has already made it clear when he talked to Vladimir Zelensky, the way he talked to him at the White House about his country, Ukraine. Hey, you should be thanking us. You haven't said thank you once.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you, man, my mom would have hit that motherfucker with a shoe.
It's like what happened to George Bush.
Like almost what happened to George.
Yeah.
George ducked that thing.
George said, not today.
No, you ain't getting me.
Not today. I don't know why they didn't think the man could dodge. It must be customary not to dodge when you're over there. Because they get hit with the shoe all the time.
All the time.
No, but that was just like my open thoughts as far as like why everybody get fired. Because we like, dang, everybody losing their job, but it's just really deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so I'm going to ask our engineer to do this. We're going to go ahead and get into next week. Let's pick some subjects. We had you this week. We had you this week.
Yeah.
So let's get you this week. Pick a hot topic.
I mean, shit. I feel like this conversation has been ongoing. And it's kind of interesting because I'm actually learning a little bit more about because I like you think that it's a lot more to going on to it than the tariffs and the politics. I actually think that none of those things actually really matter or account for anything. They're just a way to keep us inside of a structured way of thinking. I heard once somebody say we became the prisoners and the prison guard inside the constructs of our thinking. So what I guess my hot topic is, what the hell could really be going on? What are they preparing for? You talk about them firing generals, and not for nothing, we got all these AI robots coming up. You don't need a general. You need a program. I don't need a general to follow orders. He has an opinion. This robot doesn't. So yeah. And who's to say it doesn't already? It's just not monitoring like they do in the movies, and all of a sudden the T-1000 after you on the highway, looking for John Connor. But I mean, truth be told, I want to kind of try to continue the conversation. So I'm curious, what could be going on? What's going on in the world? Because that little pump fake with the tariffs benefited the stock market a little bit too. I noticed that, and people, he knew what he was doing, and good job, and I stopped doing this because everybody was getting all ficky wicky, whatever he said, So there's a lot more going on to it.
Well, I'm gonna stop you.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna stop you. Y'all didn't listen to the the footage of Ronald Reagan that well there. Ronald Reagan said, this is going to be what happens in the beginning. There's going to be prosperity. Things are going to go down and they're going to go up. And everybody's going to get comfortable. And then the bottom is going to fall out of the motherfucker because we're going to get arrogant and lazy. Arrogant already happening. That motherfucker we got in the White House is arrogant as hell. Lazy is the part where the people stop giving a shit because they've been feeling disenfranchised for 20 years already.
But I feel like all that's gonna come from like the radiation. You know what I'm saying? Like when you say lazy, I feel like
I don't think God's gonna let that happen.
Man, all them 5G towers and shit they've been putting up, man. Like a lot of that radiation is going. See, with the 5G towers, a lot of people don't know that was used in China back in the 1400s as a military weapon to defeat China. From the radiation, it was called the Wuhan 400. It was building the towers down there, and that's how we defeated China back in the 1400s. So, I mean, when you think about today, they got to put up a lot of 5G towers. And guess what? Guess what? It was happening right soon as COVID hit. You know what I'm saying? How can we get the people to stay in the house while we put these towers up? Let's create a virus. Now, you come outside, you get sick. Everybody staying in the house like, I ain't trying to get sick. And while they was doing that, guess what was going up? All of those towers.
Mm-hmm.
And the same system that they used to defeat China is to defeat here. I mean, when you think about it, man, all of this military equipment, all of this money that they spend on military equipment a year, who you think is really to go to war against? You think it's to go to war against other countries? No, it's to go to war against.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving our old equipment away.
You know what I'm saying?
We go over there and we start a little fight with Iran and Afghanistan.
So it's just deeper, man. Like
we give a whole bunch of
history repeat itself. Like it's only a matter of time before we fight for our land back anyway. Because it was already free land. You know what I'm saying? So it's only a matter of time before we say fuck this shit anyway. Where ours at? You know what I'm saying? Just like the Indians get their checks and all that from the casinos and shit, we should get ours too from every motherfucking cotton company. Hanes, Fruit of the Loops, all of that. Where our money at? You know what I'm saying?
I gotta tell you another story I heard.
I'm listening. I'm all in. I'm all for listening.
You've been to Georgia.
Yeah, for sure.
You know about Lake Lanier.
Yeah.
Right? You know about Lake Lanier?
Yeah.
Lake Lanier, the history of Lake Lanier, I forget what it was called, Franklin City, or I forget the name of the city that was buried in this water.
Yeah.
What city was that? Tulsa, where they had the Black Wall Street.
Yeah. I think
and
that was what, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa,
Oklahoma.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now check it out.
Yeah.
They did that to Franksville, Georgia. The people, it was a black town, it's prosperous, had stayed to themselves, they didn't bother nobody, they was in a little cove of mountains. A lady accused a black boy of rape. They didn't like the fact that we was prospering down there. And I'm gonna have footage and everything next week so you can hear about it, see about it on the videos, because it's gonna be on the green screen. And they took this town, raped, pillaged, and burned it down. And they didn't like the fact that they had to look at what they had done with all the dead. That's why they say Lake Lanier is haunted. But that's what they did. Can't remember the year offhand, but I'll find it if I can get it up here tonight. I'll tell you before we go. But Lake Lanier in Georgia, and of course that stone in the middle of the city, Stone Mountain Park, was where the Klan headquarters was. So all of this is designed. I can't even understand or remember who I heard it from. History repeats itself, right?
Yeah, me. I said,
but history don't allow you, if you're them, I don't mean no offense.
No, you're all good.
They don't relive history. They rewrite it so that it don't sound the same the next time it happens, or it don't look the same the next time it happens.
Jim Crow laws in a different form.
Say it again.
I said it's just a new version of them Jim Crow laws in a different form.
Amen.
Well, it's kind of like how up here they had redlining
Mhm.
because they didn't have segregation.
Yeah. They're doing the same thing with our neighbors, but with different states. Like Mexico, I have seen an article. They literally cut it off. Like people can't import or export from the U.S. to Mexico because of all the stuff you've been doing to her.
But see, so can I speak on that? My thing is like, look at that. Like, as America, like some of these countries, I mean not countries, some of these states was even a part of Mexico before they even discovered America. But then all of a sudden they come and draw a border and be like, oh, y'all can't even come over here. But we was accessing this shit before y'all even came to America. You know what I'm saying? So all of that shit, like how can you tell me I can't, now it's a border here? It's
So
a
now
line
you
here.
understand what I mean by washing.
Yeah,
They wash the history.
yeah, they
How
keep
can
trying.
they don't even, bro, they getting ready to wipe yours clean.
They've been trying to for years. It's called genocide. They've been trying to get rid of the black population for years, man. And they can't. You know what I'm saying? And they see that. That's why they trying all these different tactics.
Say we don't die, we multiply.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Okay.
We'll die, we multiply,
real.
but that's why you got all of the nuclear war, nuclear warfare, and all of that. Now, like it's a bigger war. This ain't no war that we fighting to where it's just pull a gun out and we finna just go to war. Like
I don't
we
understand
going to war to
that.
push up a button right
So
now.
what you saying is they don't give a shit about nothing or nobody but themselves?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
This
At
man
all.
is
They
this
definitely
man is
don't.
shipping inmates to El Salvador, man. Like,
Yeah.
Not
What
even
we
people
doing?
charged with
I
real
gotta-
crimes.
I
either.
gotta-
literally.
I gotta make you laugh too. You ready for this?
Wait a minute. You
It's
go
costing America $6 million a day.
to do that.
first. The fuck? But they
But you
can't
got people.
pay for the education department.
But you
Excuse
can't
me.
pay for
No.
others.
Or they
Others
could fire 10,000 people a week.
Let's talk about how the Reduction in Force Act came about and they laid off veterans that served for this country. Just saying.
So I gotta ask y'all a question. Who's gonna lead the charge?
Wait. I'm sorry. Bring it back. What did Michael Jackson say? They don't really care about us. Okay.
Shit,
I got a question for y'all.
Somebody said that before Michael Jackson.
I got a question. So y'all tell me, who built America? Who really built America?
I don't care.
Fuck this motherfucker up.
Who rebuilt
I-
America?
no, I-
Who
I- I
rebuilt
don't-
America?
I don't
America
care
exists before it
Because
became
that ain't
policy.
nothing but, to me, propaganda.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me say something. Who gives a fuck who built what?
But see,
All I want to do is live.
Yeah.
I don't care about. We can rebuild it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to have stable rent, affordable lights.
and guess what? They go right back to us fighting for our land, man, because this was our land first, man. You know what I'm saying? This was God land. This was free land, man. Like, how can you tax us to stay in a free country? Tell me that. This was free land. You know what I'm saying? We was religious, all of that. What happened to being religious? You know what I'm saying? What happened to you take this, I'll take that? What happened to, you know what I'm saying, Miss Ann feeding the community? You know what I'm saying? Like, where all that with?
Tell you what I remember about 1968 when the riots happened.
Oh, yeah. History repeat itself. It's coming.
And it was during the time when people were angry, just angry. I mean, angry for no reason at all. I watched my mother and stepdad get hosed down. I watched people get hosed down, dogs sicked on them. I grew up in the Rockwell Projects in Chicago. I ain't crazy, I'm just crazy. But there was a tank outside of my building when I was a kid. A freaking tank. And It's crazy because the motherfucking tank wasn't aimed at the street. It was aimed at the fucking building.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would have blown the lobby out of the building to keep us in the building if they had to. I lived 3 blocks away from the Black Panthers headquarters. I could hear gunshots. It sounded like Iraq, and shit was burning up all day and all night. House full of smoke because the whole neighborhood was on fire. It can't happen again. We as Americans, what the fuck? Grown people, stop, wake up.
Yeah, but also
I asked you the question. I need you to answer for me, bro. What are we going to do for a leader? Fuck talking about this stuff. Let's get together as people, as Americans. I don't want no red. I don't want no blue. I don't want no black. I don't want no white. I don't want no Asians. I want us all.
Well, you know why what's stopping that is because, for one, a lot of people don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? For two, a lot of people don't know what to believe in. And not only that, for three, a lot of people just don't know who to trust. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it's like, man, this shit just get deep, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It does not.
yeah.
It does not. Our conversation gets deep. The situation stays the same. Let me finish the thought. The situation stays the same. We are talking about some shit that affects us, though we're not the people it is affecting.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't
We're
understand.
talking in circles. When do we stop and get ourselves, I don't need no leader. I got one.
Yeah.
He gave me everything I got.
God.
I praise him every day.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. God is trying to tell us to watch his counterpart, Lucifer. He up to no good.
But see, a lot of
But
people
God-
don't understand that people is power too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are the power. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
People is the power. Not they try to get it to where our money is the power, money is the ruler. No, we are the power, bro.
Money is the thing that keeps us in chains. That is
But we
I
are
feel
the
like that
power.
was the way of harnessing
the
the
dollar.
it's
We
the
make
link
the
between
dollar.
our exchange of power.
Yeah.
I give you for your energy output.
Yeah.
I've always thought that the thing that they want is never monetary, but it's the thing that we go crazy about
Yeah.
because we think about this as our society and the things that structure it. But we, the people, actually give the structure to the society and the movement and the power in the society.
We the reason why the money got the power.
When man plays God, he doesn't play God with things that he's already created. He does it with things that he doesn't usually have control over. You and me. I can create a robot, I can create a game and all those things I can control. But if I can make you do something for me for $1, guess how much power I got? I can sit here and make things happen.
Yeah.
That's what God does. He makes things happen without actually having to move a muscle. And that's the scarier part of the breaking down of the deepness because it is. It's like I feel like there's layers of an onion to it. You know, you have to peel them back and we have to kind of understand what that God complex is really like. Like you got who asked the question about like who built America?
Yeah.
You know, somebody in like the whole Rothschilds. I think you know the ones that started the banks and the fictitious money to loan us money to pay us back in real monetary, and we agreed to that, giving our land up for Bibles, and we've lost a lot of who we are and our identity as people in general.
So
I mean.
So when you look at America, I look at it like it started as like with 13 colonies, and now we are like 50 states.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about America and all of the shit that we've been through, now I'm gonna ask you again, who built America? America was built on our backs, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they try to say, oh, when they got here, or what Christopher Columbus was the first person to discover America. That's a lie. Because they said even when he got here, he still thought he was in Spain. You know why? Because it was black people here too.
You can't discover a place that people are already
Yeah,
at.
you know
Let's
what I'm
make that clear.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
get
right
there
there.
and people are there, you just found out where more other people was.
Yeah.
They been there.
Yeah.
They wasn't like, hey,
Man.
where's
So
this
they was
place
sitting on the
at?
dock of the Bay waiting. Hey,
Listen,
Hey,
Well,
what's
and
that
that's
shit?
why,
Come on.
Listen,
Right.
that's why they called them Indians, because he thought he landed in India.
India, yeah.
Yeah.
listen, y'all.
that's
You
what
know,
I'm saying. He thought it was still,
the fucked up thing about it is one of these policies, right? Okay, they just announced the Elective Order 14159 directs the Department of Homeland Security to ensure aliens, quote unquote, hello, okay, comply with their duty to register with the government. Meaning, right now, Native Americans, hello, okay, are y'all listening? Take notes. Are being forced to have government official documents like a birth certificate or social security form to state that they was actually born here in America without being deported by the ICE department. What the fuck? Can I just say that? Like, Native Americans who was here before the
You gotta find a way to make everybody
But what you
comply
gonna do?
to
You can't deport
your
them.
will, right? Because
they're trying to though.
Where-
That's
where
the
they
crazy.
gonna go?
Well,
That's my whole point.
Yeah.
That's my
Well,
whole
another
But
point.
that's what I'm
He gonna
saying.
send him to
It's
India.
gonna be war,
In a
bro. It's
lot
gonna
of
be the
ways-
purge, bro. Ain't nobody going, bro. Ain't nobody
Like-
finna sit and let
Yeah.
you deport me when I've been here all these years, bro. This is how I support my friend. So even man, it's only gonna be a matter of time, bro. Like Richard said, like motherfucker gonna wake up
Self-inflicted
tomorrow and
wound,
everybody gonna be outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all materialistic shit. You put the houses here is to divide and conquer. You got 50 states now. Now I can divide the people. Now I got different neighborhoods. Okay, now I got that. Now I can put people in housing. You know what I'm saying? Now they got the housing. Now I can give them a little 9 to 5. They still struggling to live. And then I can put a car out here and some clothes. And guess what? Now I got modern day slavery. You know what I'm saying? Now I can keep you incarcerated and to keep you in debt. And now, here you go.
All right. That's good.
Don't get me going, man.
But you want me to tell you something?
Yes, sir. You know I'm listening.
Modern day slavery, I beg to differ. I call this shit everyday slavery.
Well, shit.
And the reason I call it everyday slavery
Yeah.
is because we're still working our ass off for the man.
Yeah.
You.
But
You
can't
too.
afford the groceries.
Best friend
Listen.
slash
are.
Noopsie. Listen,
We all are.
bro, we got to stop. When is now?
And then
It's
another-
not later. It's not tomorrow. It's now. It's now. We've got to stop. Excuse me for beating on the table, Matt, but I know that noise is going to be in the recording. We have got to stop and say to ourselves, and when I mean to ourselves, you turning and looking at her, and you turning and looking at her, and us looking at each other. We've got to stop and say, enough is enough.
Yeah.
You can have all the wealth, that you want, but not at my expense.
When you go, you can't take it with you anyway, man. Everybody was set here for a purpose, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about the money. It ain't about the cars and all this materialistic shit. It's really about what is your purpose here on this earth.
My
You know what I'm saying?
My brother's been dead a long time.
Yeah.
My brother was a very smart guy. He was an engineer. He worked for the U.S. Air Force. He was in the Air Force. He lived in Las Vegas. I lived in Las Vegas. My brother worked for the Nevada test site where they used to make the nuclear missiles underground and explode them. So he was a pretty smart guy, but my brother used to say to me, if you don't fall for something,
You don't stand
fall
for
for
something.
you don't
everything.
stand for
anything.
something, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah.
And one time you're going to fall on your face.
Mm.
we're on our face. Time to get the fuck up. I created this medium so that we can talk honestly. And I beg of thee to spread the word so we can get more people involved in this. Because we ain't gonna harm nobody, but we're not gonna be harmed either. That's what we gotta decide first. We gotta decide that now. No more blue, Democrats or red Republicans, no more whites and blacks. You can call me what you want to call me. Just don't call me. Because I don't want to be in that shit. I want to be in some shit where we can all be together. I want to be in some shit where we can all live together. I don't want to be angry every day. I don't want to look at some of these people I saw, like the guy I saw today, shoot around me at the light getting on the entrance ramp of the expressway. And as he shot around me, he looked out his window and threw me a finger. And I'm like, I don't even know you, motherfucker. What you throwing me a finger for? No, what if I threw a hand grenade? How would you feel? So let's stop this shit. You know, we ain't got to go through all of this. Because I might not look like I can fight, but I can fight. And I do stand for something. And I ain't falling for anything. I'm sick of this shit, Bernie Mac said. Sick of this shit. They have
I
got...
think he was the real first black podcast for real.
You want to hear something crazy? Guess who I went to high school with? Bernie Mac.
You real?
I'm for real.
Hey, shout out to him.
Bernie
He
Mac,
was
man.
funny, bro.
Hey, but before we
Funny.
leave, I got two quotes though. I just want to share. I mean, one by Martin Luther King.
Go.
And you know, both of these quotes stuck with me all the way from the 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? From like the Black History programs and shit like that. So it always stuck with me. And one was from Martin Luther King, and he said,
"Quiet on the set."
He said, "One day, this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. Here we are." And then another one is from Huey P. Newton. You know what I'm saying? R.P. Huey P. Newton, man. That was a real powerful brother, man. And he said, "Any and all unarmed people are slaves or subjected to slavery at any given moment." Now, I'm going to run that back because I want y'all to really pay attention to that. Any and all unarmed people are slaves or subject to slavery at any given time. So he basically saying, if you ain't armed, then guess what?
You're a slave.
Anybody can come say, "Come with me." You know what I'm saying? You armed, and the motherfucker can run in your house right now and be like, "Come on." What you gonna do? You can't even protect yourself.
Isn't that what happened in Africa?
There you go. That's that. I was waiting on somebody to say something about that, but yeah, that's exactly what happened.
He walked them right to the what? Come on with me. We got some chicken and a nice dining room. Next thing you know, they was on the bottom of the boat, rowing their asses off, chained together. Sorry, that's why I don't wear chains today. I have battle scars. Y'all don't want to know. I lived through some rough times in America. Some rough times. The Black Panthers used to march in the playground across the street from my apartment. They used to feed the neighborhood every Sunday.
That unity, we need to bring it back.
But
They
you
used
can't
to
even do
stand.
that no more because as soon as they see a black man with a gun, they fierce. And my thing is, that's another question I got.
Shit,
for
I
y'all.
just got to say one thing.
Why?
You shouldn't have gave me a CCW.
Okay.
Yeah. But my thing is and that's just a setup, you know what I'm saying, to shoot, because now as soon as you reach for it or try to reach for a car, now they pow, he was reaching. You know what I'm saying? So that's really just a setup too. But my thing is, like, even with that, if they doing so much right? If they doing so much right, why do they fear a black man with a gun when we got the same gun rights and the same gun law that they carry? And they
It's not that they fear you with a gun.
I want to say,
They fear you.
Exactly.
listen, they more afraid of a black man in a black suit than a black man with a gun, because a lot of the times I feel like in our community where it come in short at is like the education piece. That's why they U.S. in history, all of history, very manipulative on every level, far as policies, far as social media, far as literally everything, like from throughout history. So I just want to also shout that out too, because a lot of times we thinking that like to demonstrate power has to be seen upon a certain way, especially like I ain't no man, but I've seen, the masculinity, right? But if we really talking about like monumental community leading change, it starts in our grassroots when
Right
it
here.
comes to that.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't create this for nothing. Me and my partner right down there. We did this shit for a reason.
Yeah.
What was you doing before we opened this door?
Activism.
But we wasn't talking.
Yeah.
We talking now.
Yes, sir.
So I see it again.
Yeah.
Here's an avenue.
Mm-hmm.
We've opened the door. Step y'all asses in it.
I already stepped. I'm here.
And I'm speaking to the people that hear this for the first time.
I know, I'm talking.
Because I'm sitting here next to my girl Jocelyn.
Mhm.
And Jocelyn feel the same fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
She wants everybody to get along.
Yeah.
She wants
Exactly.
everybody to live prosperously.
But look at Martin Luther King, though. He was the same way and still got assassinated. You know what I'm saying? He was fighting for equality.
But
You know
don't
what
say
I'm
it
saying?
like that. I don't
Still
wanna be-
got assassinated.
I don't want to be the first man with a bullet. Shit.
Shout out to the allies, though.
but-
We do appreciate you and
I
we need y'all.
tell you
for
what,
real.
since you put it that way,
Come
y'all
fund us,
get some
okay?
security for a brother.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
I'm not going to stop.
Yeah.
They are not going to stop me. I have something to say. It is you, Matt, him too. We all care about each other. And they ain't got nothing that got to do with no skin color
Sure.
or no tone. None of that. We care about each other because we what? Keep it 100. Right? So fuck that lying. Can't nobody lie to me and get me to vote for him no more.
That part.
Can't nobody lie to me and get me to buy shit no more. You want to treat me right? Take that fucking thing off my bank account that lets you go in there and get money every chance you get.
Literally. Ooh.
Let's talk about the rich they're all oligarchs now, because there's got to be one kingpin, and I'm sure there is, and it ain't Donald Trump. That motherfucker's a puppet. As a matter of fact, he's worse than Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, that's why he was. So when you look at that too, it's like, what other person can you put in the office to end all this shit? He the perfect motherfucker.
But he ain't.
You know what I'm saying?
But he ain't. You know why? He talk too fucking much.
You do.
Yeah. But I'm saying he the perfect motherfucker because he's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
The
that's
best
what
way I heard somebody
that's-
describe him, he's like a monkey with a gun.
yeah.
It's like it's a fucking monkey. It's cute, but he has a gun. You know, you don't want to deal with that. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. So
Y'all keep on going. How much time we got left?
None. Monkey with a gun is how
let's-
we ended it.
Y'all stick with me for a second. I found something on this son of a
Hey, his
dumbass
guns is
man.
the nukes, though. I'm not gonna lie.
The thing you were talking about earlier.
But that's why they tried to assassinate him 3 times before he got in the office, because motherfuckers knew already. They knew that already, bro. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, hey.
Well, it looks like another monkey with a gun shot at him because it missed.
How you hit the ear though? That's the question.
Hey,
Just so he could have like a good photo op with like
hey,
the blood
listen,
dripping
I
down
think
his
that was
face and,
completely
like-
set up because,
Okay.
like
Let
first
me show
off,
you that
he
bullet
had a
gray.
clear shot and a couple off with
Ear.
others afterwards,
Oh,
and you
sorry.
shot the ear, and then you getting shot at. How
Well,
you
he
gonna
was
raise your
standing
hand
there
like this?
like,
I don't even think he got shot, bro.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
A
show me that
bird.
I think
graze
that was
mark.
like a cut. They did one of them, WWF.
Yeah.
A little slit on the
his ear?
ear, and then they get
You
up
can't
bleeding and
tell.
shit.
Yeah.
Say it again, Jocelyn.
I said, have you seen his ear lately? You can't really tell.
It ain't nothing happened.
Even
That probably wasn't
still
even a real
medical.
cut. That probably was some food color, and they just
Ketchup.
Yeah,
they
like one of
they
those-
tackled him like, oh,
They
spray it
actually
on his-
have like these packets they use
They do.
in movies.
Yeah.
That, like, if
Yeah.
they get shot by a fake gun or something, it'll just get like blood all over their shirt. But it's like this like food coloring type thing that just looks like blood.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder if they might have used that because if you see him now, you'd think he'd have like a massive scar on his ear, but no, he doesn't.
Nothing. Some
He's
of his
fine.
I
ear
think
be
his
gone.
ear was chewed off or something.
Yeah.
Or it had
Yeah.
like a skid mark or the skin to be discolored.
But no,
or
he
something
wore
because it
a
had to heal.
bandage for like a week,
Yeah.
and then after that, he was fine. And I
And
mean,
you
like,
notice he don't do outside. He don't do outside like on the podiums no more.
like
He
I
don't
got
be outside
scratched by a
speaking
dog
anymore.
once on my hand, and I still have a scar
Yeah,
from
if
it. So
I
like,
would've shot my
if
ear,
you get shot, it's,
I wouldn't be on the podium either.
yeah.
He don't never be outside no more. Everything is inside. He either in the Oval Office or he in the he inside.
Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago,
He's
he's inside. He's never outside no
Mar-a-Lago.
more.
I'm going to have this for you guys next week. Next week, I'm going to bring, I told you the thing about the tariffs.
Mhm.
What else did I say? I was going to bring some other information.
About who was it? Somewhere in Georgia? The
Yeah.
lake?
yeah,
Oh, Lake Lanier, yeah.
Lanier. And I'm going to bring you this one.
With the
I got an interview
Tulsa.
of Donald Trump. Let me get close to the microphone so y'all can hear this shit. Donald Trump saying he wish he was a black man.
He is.
No. See, I'm being serious.
I'm being serious too.
This
is
motherfucker
crazy.
said
They had made a meme of him blackface.
he
It's a whole
wish that he could have been a black guy because an educated black man in America is a powerful man.
thing. I said that.
That's why we the ones they fear. Right now, us in the room right now, we the ones they fear. You know why? Because we woke.
Shh. Keep it a secret for about 3-4 more months. Because when we go live, we're going live to get us a reason.
Yeah.
We got to get us a leader. And I don't mean a leader for me or a leader for you, but a leader for all of us. I know God is telling us right now we need to come together and get our asses back in line with what his plan was.
Yeah.
So spread the word. Thoughts is where it's at right now.
Yeah.
Come on in. We ain't going to preach to you. We don't want you to become a Christian. We don't want you to become a Muslim. We don't want you to become none of those.
Come
What we
as
want
you
you
are.
come
Just
as
come
you
with your
are
thoughts.
and bring your thoughts and ideas. Don't bring no suggestions because the devil like them.
Mhm. Or some stats.
You got to definitely have the stats because if
Definitely
you don't have no
stats.
if you don't have no stats, we're going to eat your ass up.
You just talking. Okay.
Because my thing is, did he just say that shit? That's the what. Hey Matt, we're gonna get me one of those little drops, man. The drop gonna say, "Did he just say that shit?" And that way, I ain't gotta see it. You can just push the button.
Did he just say that shit?
Right.
Yeah, some air horns.
Wait a minute. Or the other one. Pow!
Yeah. Pow.
Who that peeping in the window now? Nobody. I'm telling you, we got to get serious, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to get serious. Thank you, man. You bought your 2. I bought 2, but they wouldn't get on. They got on for a second and disappeared.
Are we cut?
No, we ain't.
Oh.
Man's getting some blooper footage.
Oh.
This-
I was just confused a little bit.
Well,
Oh.
you know,
I know. I was confused.
you know,
Yeah.
that's happening a lot lately.
Hey, you know, I be like that sometimes.
Okay.
But
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like that
as
today.
you are, this as I am.
That's how you
Confusing.
come. I know that's right. Take the bag or don't take the bag.
I'm learning. I'm growing.
It's full. I just know that the bag is full. As a matter of fact, it runneth over sometimes.
It multiplies for
Right.
sure.
Right. Well, I'll say this. Theme music there, Maestro. Best way to go out the door? Every player has some theme music. This is mine. Or should I say ours? Thank you again for joining us in Thoughts, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
See you next week.